In September 2015, Charlie and his girlfriend Claire planned a peaceful trip. They were driving to a cabin deep in the woods of Ashwood Hill. But what was supposed to be a relaxing getaway soon turned into something terrifying. They wanted a quiet getaway with no internet, no noise, just nature. The road to Ashwood Hill was long and empty. Charlie gripped the steering wheel tightly as the car bumped over the rough road. Tall pine trees lined both sides, swaying gently in the evening breeze. He had never driven this deep into the forest before, and it made him uneasy. The farther they went, the quieter it became. The sun was almost down. Charlie knew Ashwood Hill was far from everything, but he didn't expect it to feel this deserted. For the last hour, they hadn't seen any other cars or houses, just endless trees everywhere. The only sounds were the car's engine and the wind rustling the leaves. Claire sat next to Charlie, looking at her phone. "No signal," she said with a frown. "Are you sure this is the right way?" Charlie nodded. "Yeah, the ad said it's deep in the woods. It's supposed to be peacefully hidden and quiet." Claire sighed and put her phone away. "Quiet is fine, but this place feels empty." They were going to a cabin Charlie had found online. It had no electricity, no Wi-Fi, and only a wood stove for heat. He'd booked it for the weekend as a surprise for Claire, hoping for a quiet and relaxing trip. As they turned a corner, the cabin appeared at the top of the hill. It stood all alone, old and silent. Its dark windows looked like empty eyes. The porch was crooked, and the chimney looked like it hadn't been used in a long time. Charlie felt a strange uneasiness in his stomach, but he ignored it. They stepped onto the creaking porch. Charlie struggled with the rusty key before finally pushing the door open. The air inside smelled of damp wood and dust. It was just like the pictures, simple and rustic, with a stone fireplace and a few worn-out chairs. Charlie lit a few candles. Their soft light made the room feel a little less creepy. "See? Cozy," he said, with a small smile. Claire hugged herself. "I guess, but it feels like no one's been here for a long time." The first night was quiet, except for the occasional creak of the wooden beams. But the second night was different. Charlie woke up to a soft noise outside. Crunch. It sounded like footsteps on the rocky ground. His heart started beating faster. He turned to Claire, but she was still fast asleep. Holding his breath, he listened. Crunch. Someone was outside the cabin. Charlie grabbed the flashlight from the nightstand and got out of bed. Slowly, he tiptoed to the window, his heart pounding. He looked outside. Nothing. Just the dark, silent woods. Charlie let out a shaky breath. Probably just an animal. He turned to go back to bed when another sound stopped him. A soft tap on the window. Charlie froze. His breath caught in his throat. He turned his head slowly, his eyes moving to the glass. There was a smudge, like a handprint. Fresh. His stomach twisted. He hadn't seen that before. He backed away from the window, locking it as quietly as he could. He grabbed a fire poker from beside the wood stove and sat on the edge of the bed, gripping it tightly. Claire stirred. "Charlie." "Shh," he whispered. "I think someone's outside." Claire sat up, her eyes wide. They listened. Minutes passed. Nothing. "Maybe it was just a branch," she offered weakly. Charlie wasn't convinced. But after an hour of silence, exhaustion took over, and he finally drifted into a restless sleep. The next morning, Charlie woke up to an uneasy feeling. The front door was slightly open. His blood ran cold. He was sure he had locked it. He stepped toward it carefully, his grip tightening on the fire poker. The floor creaked under his weight. Sunlight streamed through the open door, but the air inside felt heavy. He checked the lock. No signs of forced entry. "Claire," he called, his voice low. "Did you open the door?" A tired groan came from the bedroom. "What?" Charlie's heartbeat pounded in his ears. He searched the cabin, checking the corners, the closet, and the furniture. Nothing. No footprints. No sign of anyone. But he couldn't shake the feeling that someone had been there. Claire appeared at the doorway, rubbing her arms. "Charlie, I don't like this. Maybe we should leave." Charlie hesitated. Maybe she was right. Then they saw it. A single word carved into the wooden table in jagged letters. "Leave." Charlie's breath caught. He looked at Claire, his face pale. "We're going." Now they packed in minutes, shoving their things into bags. Charlie grabbed the car keys and yanked open the front door. The steps creaked as they rushed to the car. Charlie jammed the key into the ignition and turned it. The engine sputtered but didn't start. "Come on," Charlie muttered, turning the key again. Nothing. Claire's breathing grew fast. "Try again." Charlie tried. Again and again. Dead. Then Claire gasped. "Charlie." She was staring at the side mirror. A figure stood at the tree line, dressed in dark clothes, motionless, watching. Charlie's hand shook. "Hold on." He turned the key one more time. The engine roared to life. The figure took a step forward. Charlie slammed his foot on the gas. Gravel spun beneath the tires as they sped down the road, the cabin disappearing behind them. But then something even worse happened. A loud thud sounded from the trunk. Charlie's heart nearly stopped. Claire let out a small scream. He checked the rearview mirror, but nothing was there. He kept driving, hands sweaty on the wheel. Then came another thud. Louder. Charlie swerved, nearly running off the road. What the hell was that? Claire was shocked. Something's back there. Charlie pressed the gas pedal harder. They sped down the winding road, but the thudding continued, rhythmic and deliberate, like someone or something was inside the trunk. Finally, they saw the gas station ahead. Charlie skidded to a stop, jumped out, and ran to the trunk. His fingers fumbled with the latch. He threw it open. Nothing, just their bags, perfectly still. But on the inside of the trunk's lid, there were deep scratches, like fingernail marks. Charlie's hands were still shaking as he pulled out his phone. He needed to find the listing for the cabin. He had to understand what had just happened. But the listing was gone. Confused, he tried searching for the rental company. Nothing. His stomach twisted. "Claire, the cabin's not listed anymore." She stared at him, fear creeping into her eyes. "What do you mean?" Charlie hesitated, then checked his emails for the confirmation receipt. It wasn't there. His entire booking, emails, payment confirmations, and even the messages with the owner had vanished. It was as if the cabin had never existed. Claire's breath hitched. "Charlie, how did we get there?" Charlie opened his mouth, then closed it. He didn't remember. The road, the directions, none of it was clear anymore, like a fading dream. His phone buzzed. A new message. "See you soon." A chill ran down Charlie's back. His hands tightened around his phone, and cold sweat formed on his skin. Slowly, he looked at Claire. Her face had turned pale. "Charlie," she whispered. She was staring at the gas station window. Charlie followed her gaze. His breath caught in his throat. In the reflection, right behind them, stood a man dressed in dark clothes. He was smiling. Charlie spun around, but there was no one there. His chest rose and fell quickly. The gas station was empty, just flickering lights and rows of dusty shelves. But when he looked back at the window, the man was still in the reflection, grinning at them. Claire grabbed his wrist. "Charlie, we need to go." Now Charlie didn't argue. The highway was near. They were almost safe, or at least they thought so. Charlie gripped the wheel, his breathing unsteady.